Here is the next Witchy Poo design in my little series here. So I drew out the shape and I sewed around it on the fabric. I'm cutting in the middle a slit because I know that's going to be covered up, and it's okay for me to do that. So I'm inverting this, and I am going to put stuffing into the tail. On these designs that have that fanned out tail, I usually put stuffing in those and then do some top stitching on it, which I think looks really nice. So here's the stuffing. I'm going to use my scissors. I don't stuff it really firmly, but semi-firmly. Well, that's not true. It's not very firm at all, actually. So I sewed around my detail stitching on there, and after I sew the detail stitching on, I'm going to stuff it here with my stuffing. Now, when I do the detail stitching, it is an extra step because I stuff it, the tail, and then I sew with a machine, but it just looks so good that it's worth the extra step. I'm sewing up the opening just to be sure that it's secure. And so my next step now is to paint it. I'm using my fabric paints. And I have to let it totally dry after I paint it. Usually I let everything dry about 24 hours. That way I can be sure that it's totally dry. So as usual, I'm using my hands to blend the paint in with the fabric. I don't mind getting the paint on my hands. It just makes the process so much quicker. So I'm putting the cheeks on, and I just put red paint on the brush and got most of it off on a paper towel. And that's how I make the cheeks, using my micron marker to make the eyes and my tiny little brush here to make the lips. Of course, I have to let that totally dry before I do anything else. So I have to also draw my little bra top, and I use the micron marker for that as well. And it's an extra step. It looks so cute though. Sometimes I think, why did I ever start doing this? You know, when I'm making like 70 of these, I think, oh my gosh, 70 bra tops. Anyway, I like doing it. It looks so darn cute when it's done. So, alright, well that's finished now. And I'm going to glitter her up next. I'm going to glitter the bra top first. And I have to let that dry because I've tried to glitter the rest of it after I glitter the bra top, but I always end up putting my thumb on the bra and then just ruining it. So I cut the brim out from Craft Text, which is a cross between paper and fabric, and I painted it black, and it works perfectly for a hat with that cone-shaped head. So I'm so glad I figured that out. I used to make individual hats for each one. That's why I stopped making the witch. It was too much work, but this actually looks better and it's more secure. Just putting the brim onto that shaped head. So I painted glue on the tail and I'm glittering that, and I'm also going to glitter the hat, and of course being careful not to get the glue on my hands. So I'm going to do the hat. The great thing about glittering the hat is it glues the brim in place. So it's like killing two birds with one stone, which is awesome. Love the way those hats look. I can't believe I used to make each hat individually, and they never really looked that good, and they just weren't as secure as this is. So I have to let that totally dry, and then there's only one last step involved once that dries, and it's to glue the boa on. So this is for real yarn. Looks great. And here she is. She's all done. Happy Halloween. Thanks for watching. See you next time.